Shalom Akim, it's brother Kamal Mahar, back at it again. Well, on this channel, it be pretty much seems to be new. But I'll give all praise to Yahawah, Bahasham, Bahasham, qadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders all in this true form from GMS. Blessing to the Akim Madar preaching his word with whole heart, true sincerity. Blessing to the 144,000 and 1/3 entirely. The first fruits kingdom of heaven, the house of David, the Biyaf Dawadah. And shalom to you brothers out there speaking in different tongues and looking in different nations. Shalom, brothers. So this will be my third video on this channel. I've been shut down. My original channel was Prince of the Power 144. But I got too many strikes. So I'm gonna see if I can, once the strikes are down and allow me to at least post, I'll go back to my subscribers and lure them in this way. But right now I'm prophesying to the wind, or if the Lord has this go out to where it needs to be, it will be, because the word doesn't go out void. But today I wanted to get into so I'm on shitthefanplan.com. And shoot, brothers, this is going into famines, and we're really near with the famines, and that's prophecy that the Lord said it will be famine, right along with the fact that it'd be famine of the word as well. But these are the times, as far as famines, how we really know that the times are really coming to, we're really at the end for sure. It's no doubt in my mind and through the spirit. I'm feeling like I'm 100% sure that we're at the end of this thing. And through the spirit and through faith, I have to be correct. But it says, food banks warn a massive food shortage is coming. This came out yesterday. This is yesterday. Absolutely. This is yesterday. So this is super and highly relevant. It says, a massive food shortage is looming, according to the country's food banks. This food shortage is intentional and part of the plan to coerce people into taking the new COVID-19 vaccine. I read that, so, I don't want to be striked again, but that's what it says. And it says, we have been warning of this since the ruling class puppets, following the commands of their elitist handlers, started commanding meat processing plants to shut down over the C virus scandemic, and farmers were told to destroy their harvest. Wow. So this is all intentional, according to what we're reading, to force people to take the C-19 vaccine. And so and this makes sense, because if you use your own common sense, what Esau is doing is they're putting themselves in a position to control the food, and then by scarcely having the food out, that will man, that sucks. That will potentially, oh man, hold on for a second. Sorry, select it, bros. That's going to scarcely put them in position to control the food, and then ultimately, that's going to make people desperate and determined to get food, and then lure to Esau for food. And then, if you want the food so desperately, take this C-19 vaccine. It's very clear how this is going to work. I mean, it's only one way, and the Lord does not make us ignorant to Satan's devices. So but right here it says that they were commanded meat processing plants to shut down over the C virus scandemic, and farmers were told to destroy their harvest. They were told to. The weaponization of food, starvation to manufacture compliance. See that? Compliance. This has actually taken longer than anticipated for it to come to fruition, likely because humans have continued to pull together and help each other as the government looks for more ways to destroy us. Once people go to their local grocery store to see empty shelves, there will be panic like we have never seen. Americans are depending on food banks and pantries across the country more so than ever before, as they are forced out of work and to destroy their own livelihood to stay safe. From COVID-19, unfortunately, such heavy reliance on the food banks also means these places are being depleted resources quickly. Wow. It says food banks across Texas, for example, are already preparing for food shortages between now and early months of 2021. In addition to more Texans needing consistent access to food, three key federal and state programs that enable food banks and state to keep up with the demand this year are about to end. Wow. Food insecurity is twice as high as before the pandemic. We have a lot of federal aid, and that's all going away at the end of the year. Feeding Texas, which coordinates the 21 food banks in the state, said the Texas Tribune. We are facing a kind of food cliff, and we are worried of how long we are going to be able to keep up with this demand without the help of federal government. See, and then with the help of the federal government, in order to get that help, you're going to have to take that C-19 vaccine. It's crazy. It says there will more likely than not be pushed to weaponize food and manufacture consent from the public to take the C-19 vaccine, or worse, submit to. And what is worse than that? We already know what that is. That chip, that mark of the beast. And it says submit to total slavery by accepting the new digital dollar, one world currency that will be tracked, traced, and monitored, and cut off if you so much consider disobeying the rulers. Now, how do you cut off? How do you cut off? And where are you cutting off? That chip, that RFID chip, mark of the beast. That's exactly how it's going to work. That's the end all be all. It's saying it right there. So they're not going to say the mark of the beast or the RFID chip. But how do you trace that? How do you trace the dollar? How are you going to be transacting the new digital dollar? It ain't going to be. I could see it being the Visa debit cards for a little bit, but eventually those are going to be done away with as well. The best thing to do is to continue audit your preps. Do it weekly if you must. Get an idea of any gaps you may have and fill those now. Time is short between now and the early months of 2021. Wow. The Lord is really ramping this up, man. Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, according to prophecy, is not playing around. 2021 is going to be very, very It's not even conspiracy. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. Let me go get into these precepts because this is insane. Wow, this is crazy. I mean, we can start this with Matthew. Matthew 24. It says, let me see. Okay. Matthew 24 and 6. And you shall hear wars and rumors of wars, because that's what we hearing crazy. And see that you not be troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And it says, for nation shall rise against nation, you seeing that, and kingdom against kingdom, you seeing that, and there shall be famines, which is fastly approaching, pestilence, C-19, earthquakes in diverse places. Earthquakes are going out of control. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Hey, we brothers, this is we here, brothers. We are literally here. We are here, man. Let me see. That famine. Well, I just read famine. So and we need these things to happen. Matter of fact, we're here. This is what I wanted. Matthew 24 and right. I'm gonna say 21, 22. It says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, not nor even shall be. It says, and except those days be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Right. And so that's what we should be praying for, shorter days, man, because this famine is going to get real crazy. Not to mention we get into cannibalism. You know, people going to be, you know, the article said that when people go into the store and see the shelves empty, they're going to be in panic. And then what happens? You know, shoot. And then right after that, we already know, should be Israelite 101, 16 and shoot, I'm Second Esdras 16 and 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and a great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, and the beginning of devil evils that shall I do when even evil shall come. And it says, let me see, because that's gonna happen too. I want to get to the point. It might be 15. Yup. Second Esdras 16 and 33 and 34. The virgin shall mourn having no bridegrooms. The woman shall mourn having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. In the war shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Because famine is going to be one of the main situations that's going to happen. That's going to really get 2/3 of our people out here. Lord willing, I wanted those men to be part of that number as far as the 1/3. But famine is going to really be on the rise, and we're seeing they talking 2021 going to be one of the craziest times ever, especially when it comes to this food. Because you go to 15, where it is, it says, Second Esdras 15 and 19. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Right. That's exactly what's going to happen. Brothers been going into this very frequently now. But you got to remember, when you look at this, you have to look at this from the way the body is created. When people get hungry, they get irritable. Call it hangry. I brought this up before. The brain start losing its mind, stomach aches, and then you get irritable and you get really upset. And when you multiply that from a population standpoint, that's what's going to make them sedition among men, going in people's houses with the sword, killing and robbing for food, man, trying to survive. And it's not gonna go well. And it gets worse. It says, Second Esdras 15 and 58. It says, they that be in the mountain shall die of hunger, and eat their own flesh and drink their own blood, for very hunger of bread and thirst of water. Yeah, man. The Lord going to starve out a lot of people, especially 2/3 of our people, man. The Lord going to really do some crazy shit, man. Make it a way where there's no way for you to get food, and people going to be acting a fool like it, yo. And the only way you're going to be able to get that food is the C19 vaccine and that chip. Hey, that's the only way you're going to be able to get over this is by going to Egypt for help. And not trusting in, and then not trusting in Yahawashi is going to pretty much be a demise. What is that? Isaiah 60. What I could do about that? Can't rush the spirit. 60, 65, and yup, it says Isaiah 65, 12, and 13. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and you shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, you did not answer. When I spake, you did not hear, but did evil before my eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. Right. So when the men of the Lord was out there preaching his word in all these videos, our people, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Indians, did not want to hear it. They walk by, they scoff, and we get scoffers crazy. People want to harm us. They don't want to listen to the word, shut up, all kinds of crazy stuff. But there's a time coming in 13, Isaiah 65 and 13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahawah, behold, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but you shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. Right. So the true men of the Lord that's really out here doing the work, they're the ones going to be taken care of in these Jacob's trouble, crazy famine times, man. Like my brother Ariel say, man, we're going to be eating steak and lamb lobster. I mean, not lobster, shalakia. Steak and lamb entrees, man, and with wine and all like that, man. Brother's gonna be taken care of. Lord willing, I could be part of that number. But we got to continue on in the faith. We got to endure it. That's what it says, Matthew 24 and 13. You got to endure this, man. You got to really rock this thing out, because the Lord gonna be testing us soon. And I pray for the Spirit to just rock this out. 24 and 13. It says, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. You know? So you gotta, that's what I'm saying. Brothers need to be praying for that spirit and that diligence, man, that spirit of hard skin, man, through the spirit and power of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. When that chip come, you say no. When the Maxine comes on the scene, tell her ass no too. You know what I mean? So, that's what we need to be going into, because now that we've been applying now that we've been preaching the word and we've been prophesying and going on these videos, it's going to come a time where we're going to have to apply these precepts, man. Isaiah 33 and 6, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy times. We're going to have to apply that now. Pretty soon it's going to be game time. No more pre-workouts, pre-game workouts, and no more foot drills and no more lifting weights through the spirit. It's going to be game time, man. Flipping that coin and get ready to go in competition with the left hand side. But we know through the spirit and power of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, with all this famines and destructions and swords, the Lord said He's going to deliver us out of it, man. So we gonna be cool through the spirit, man. You gotta have faith in that. You gotta be no shouted doubt, no doubt. Just rock that out. You know what I'm saying? And these famines is getting ramped up, and it's here, and they talking about it. 2021 is going to be a vicious situation. So, with that, brothers, I brought this out as edifying to you, brothers. I just wanted to bring that video, that article out, because that was yesterday, and it's starting to really get ramped up. See, now you can see that these harvest farms are told to destroy. It's intentional. This ain't just like, this is all part of prophecy. This is what has to happen in order to cause this great tribulation of famine. So I brought this out, Lord willing, is edifying to you, brothers. I'm going to give all praise to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, qadash. Yahawah, He is to be, exists, Bahasham in the name, and the only begotten Son, the Lord and Savior, Yahawashi, deliverer, Yahawashi, Bahasham in the name, and the Holy Spirit, qadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders on His truth from GMS. Blessings to the Aki Madar preaching His word, or who are true sincerity. Blessings to 144,000, 1/3 entirely. And I want to say a blessing to the first fruits kingdom of heaven, house of David, the Biyaf Dawadah, and Shalom to you brothers out there speaking in different tongues and looking in different nations. Shalom, brothers.